YouTube, what is y'all doing? We are sitting in a familiar place, a place that we haven't recorded in a long time. We are sitting in none other than my Lexus IS 350. And today we're gonna be talking about something I've been meaning to make a video on this specific topic. This topic is one of the most watched videos on my channel, coming in at over 18,000 views. It's my Grom video. So apparently a lot of people took a liking to that. A lot of people are interested in getting the Grom or just seeing how it works. Whatever the reason may be, you all seem to really enjoy that video. And today we're gonna be building on that. In this video, I'm just mainly gonna be talking about different things with the Grom, issues that I found, I've observed, and tell you if I think that you should get it. Also answering some of the questions that you guys left on my last video about the Grom. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. I'm gonna leave a link in here somewhere. In that video, I talked about all the install and everything. In this video, we're just gonna be simply talking about the functions with the Grom and the things that I've observed. Again, this is not meant to be a long video. It's just something kind of giving you guys more insight about the Grom itself, you know, because it's very expensive, especially nowadays. And a lot of people just want to know if it's worth the money. And ultimately, that's your decision, but I'm going to let you know what I think, and you can do with that information as you will. All right, guys, jumping right into it. Got the Grom displayed here. The Grom is a small computer which is installed in my glove compartment. Like I said, check that video out if you want to see exactly what it does or how it's installed. In this video, we're talking about what it does. So as you can see, I got it fully loaded. I've already gone through the settings and made sure it's like completely updated. If you have one of these and you're wondering how to update it, you have to be connected to Wi-Fi. And you can just come in, get y'all a little closer. If you go all the way to the bottom, the system settings, and then you got Vline, system updates. And you can click that, check for updates, and boom. As you can see, I'm completely updated. So that's how you do updates for those of you who had this and didn't really know how to do it. It's that simple. It'll update, restart, and do its own thing. So the first thing I'm gonna jump into are the issues that I found. I'm happy to report that the issues that I've faced with this are far and few between, but there are some annoyances that I've noticed. One of the main things is Android Auto. And I think this happens for CarPlay too. Sometimes my wife uses the car and she'll try and use CarPlay. Answering phone calls is pretty finicky. Sometimes it won't like actually let you talk through the radio if you're used to that, and it won't like actually let you interact with the phone call from your phone. So it gets a little weird with especially the Bluetooth Android Auto, which is primarily what we use, and the Apple CarPlay. Answering and hanging up calls, you just get a lot of weirdness. It's just not consistent. When you turn on like Android Auto, there's this feature here to auto connect right here, and you can turn it on where anytime you turn on a car, it'll automatically detect your phone and connect to it. That works some of the time. I mean, that works most of the time. Sometimes you just run into issues where it just won't connect and you'll have to restart the car or something. I've had to do that like maybe 5 or 6 times since I had this thing. I've had 2 instances where it just wouldn't come on, and I had to restart the car a couple times and it actually made the Grom kick on or whatever. I'm not sure what's up with that, but I would say like 75% of the time, I'm gonna be more lenient. 80% of the time, this thing is working 100 like it should, 100%. But there's like 20% of the time where it's just, you know, finicky, it's kind of buggy. But I think you kind of expect that buying a piggyback computer to go onto your radio because it's not a factory option. But I think that it works well enough to the point where it's not a big deal. It's a little bit of an inconvenience sometimes, but it's not a big deal to the point where I hate it. Another thing that I've noticed, I don't know if this thing has a fan in it or not. That's the actual Grom unit, but it gets really hot. So putting it in here, I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I've had times where I'm just like, let me open this up so this thing can breathe, because I know it's hot in here. I've like touched it with my hand and it gets really hot. So that's something to consider when you're thinking about placement and things like that. It's never gotten hot to the point where I'm like, you know, thinking it's gonna blow up or something like that, but it does get pretty hot. Another thing I want to talk about with this Grom ECU, whatever you want to call it, somebody actually in the comments said it looks like a router, and I can't unsee it because it does look exactly like a router. But there's a lot of functions with this thing. As you can see, I have maps, Spotify, settings. I don't even use all this stuff. You got the Play Store here. You can install like Google apps and things like that. It's basically the Android marketplace. And you got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It has its own Bluetooth thing here where you can connect your phone if you don't want to actually, you know, log in to Android Auto and things like that. There's a lot of functionality in this thing. A lot of it I don't even think I've actually like dug into. You can watch YouTube videos. You name it, this thing will just about do it. And what I really like about it is I have the factory Mark Levinson system in my car, and this allows me to keep my same radio set up, which I like the way it sounds, and not have to like worry about like, I don't know, like getting some type of aftermarket screen in here and stuff like that. It integrates with the factory system, and a lot of people are gonna want that over like some type of aftermarket system, maybe not. Now the Grom right now on the Vline store, Grom store, marketplace, however, it's pretty expensive. I think it's over $600 now. When I got mine, I paid like $450 something. I did a group buy in one of the Lexus groups that I was in, so you kind of got to shop around for those. But I got mine at a really good time because I think I got in on the last one that they had before the price went up on the Grom. So they're pretty high. So I know a lot of y'all are wondering, should you buy this? But before we get into that, I want to answer some of the questions that some of you guys have put on the video and asked about, and just kind of answer and rectify some of those concerns, I guess. So I got my phone here with some of the questions that I just screenshotted so I can answer for you guys. I answered the first one. Somebody asked how much did I pay for it and have I ran into the issues. I paid like $470 maybe out of the door with taxes. And yes, I've run into issues. I think that's to be expected with any piece of electronic technology. At some point you're gonna, even cell phones, you know, every now and then you gotta restart them and they'll have issues. So yeah, there's gonna be some issues. I wouldn't expect anything to be perfect, but I think what they're selling is mostly what you get. Like, I haven't found anything where they've lied to me about something being with the Grom or being on the Grom, or a feature that's not there and not working. So another question somebody asked was, does the backup camera work? And I think I'm gonna knock all these questions out at once about do things work. So what the Grom does is it basically integrates with your factory system. So anything that was like working before is gonna be working afterwards. You'll still have radio, backup cameras, all of that stuff. You'll be able to change the screen brightness. Everything still works the way it did. The Grom is actually just an extra component on top of that. So any functionality you were missing, the Grom is probably not gonna fix those issues. For instance, if your backup camera wasn't working, if your factory maps wasn't working, the Grom is not gonna fix any of those issues. They're still not gonna be working. The Grom does add extra functionality to your radio, but it doesn't fix anything that's broken. Someone else asked, would this work for a 2007 IS250? Now I have a 2006 IS350. As far as I know, the Grom will work with any IS that has come factory with the navigation unit. So if your IS, 2IS that is, so that's like a 2006 to 2013, I believe. If it has factory navigation screen like this, the Grom should work with it. Now, when you go and purchase it, you can put all the information in and they'll let you know if the Grom will support it or not, like, or something like that. But to my knowledge, if you have the navigation package on your IS, this should work. I just want to go back real quick and talk about how you actually get into the Grom. So like I was telling you, all these features are the same. So if you go in the climate, you can still, you know, set up your AC preferences. Audio, that's how you get into the Grom now. So if I press audio, that takes me to the Grom. If I press display, all this stuff works the same. Maps, destination, menu, all that stuff still works the same. But whenever you want to exit the Grom, you can just press that button and boom, you can still listen to CDs and everything. Maps still work. So you don't lose any factory functionality as far as I've noticed. It's just adding on to it. So somebody was asking me, do things have to be wired, like your phone or anything, to be played? You don't need to wire anything to your phone in order to like use Android Auto or listen to music or any of those things. The Grom is completely Bluetooth, so you can play music straight from your phone. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the Grom. My wife, actually, I asked her what was her favorite mod that I've done to any of my cars, and she actually said the Grom. So she really likes it too, because we have a 2021 RX, and it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but it doesn't have the wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So she likes the fact that she can get in here a lot of times and it'll just set all that up for her, and she can just go ahead and not have to worry about fumbling with cords and things like that. So I don't have any regrets buying it. I would definitely do it again. I think it adds to the car. Now, I've seen like the big Tesla screens and everything like that, and those look cool. I'm not sure about the sound output, if that'll work with the Mark Levinson. I didn't look too deep into those because I saw the Grom and I was like, I would like to keep this thing as factory as possible and enjoy it that way. So that's what I did. That's the approach that I took. Now, a lot of y'all wondering, like, would I say you should buy this? And my answer is yes. I guess it's hard to tell somebody, yes, you should buy this thing for your car. If you have the money for it and it's not a big deal, I think you should buy it. If it's something where it's like just too pricey for you or you don't want to spend that type of money on it, I completely agree. I do think it's overpriced, but at the same time, I like the things that Grom is doing, because I can't think of an alternative to like adding this type of functionality to a stock radio system that's offered anywhere else. So I completely support what they're doing, and I think that it's great. But it is pricey. You got to pay to play. So at the price point, I'm gonna say that's up to you. I don't think you would regret getting it if you did and install it in your IS, especially if you're already happy with how everything works. You just want a little bit more functionality, and it's completely plug and play. Like I said, you can go watch my last video and see how I installed it. So I think it's definitely worth it. Even at the price it's at now, I know everything's expensive right now, but I still think it's worth it. It's added a lot more character to the car. If anything else, it's added a lot. It's made the car feel a lot newer with all the extra functions and everything. So I think the Grom is worth it. And I think that's all I got for this video. I just wanted to kind of talk to y'all about it. We got a lot of new updates coming for the IS this week. And I'm excited about it. I got a lot to share with y'all. I haven't forgotten about this car. I'm still on my mind of stuff I need to do. I've just gotten distracted with my GS400. But yeah, we got a lot of plans coming for this car. I'm thinking the wrap is gonna go. We'll get into all of that in the next video. But I appreciate y'all for watching. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, please, guys. That goes a long way. And peace.